Hello and welcome to Anatomy of CAD Design. I am going over Matrix 3.4 and right now we are looking at the menus. I went over the design basics of the layout of Matrix and we are on the menu item labeled curve, which is the very first menu item. We have gone through all of these menu items and we are towards the very end. Let's see. All right, so I want to go to from object. It's all the way to the right, close to the end. And if you click on this little triangle, there are quite a few items that we are going to go over. And these are not dynamic commands, so they are like the old Matrix, Matrix 9. So I need to bring in, let's take a peek at that again. We're going to go over project, pull back, duplicate edge, duplicate border, and so on. Some of these I've never used before. Surprise, surprise. But I am going to bring in a few solids so that we have something to work with. And let's see here. There we go. And I'm just going to turn these different colors. And right now we are on the white layer, so when things will, like the curves that go on top of these solids are going to show up really well, so you'll be able to see them. And happy 4th of July. It looks like we're celebrating 4th of July. That was last week. All right. The first one, let's go back to our curve menu and project. Now, I did project earlier and it was a dynamic command and it did not act like I thought it should. So I have a feeling that this time it's going to act, well, what I would say is the right way. All right, so let's hit project and select curves and points to project. I am going to project this curve onto the cube and the cylinder. So I'm going to select the curve, press enter when done, and then I want to select the surfaces that I want it to project to. Now, which viewport you do this in is important. So I am clicking in the front viewport. I'm going to click enter. And you can see in the perspective view that it went all the way around the cube, all the way around the cylinder at the same level as the curve. And if I move this curve down, it is on history because I have my history on at the bottom of the screen. You can see that. And so as I move this curve, the curves that are attached to the solid items will also move. Now, if I move it in the top view and I move it straight, it will not affect the curves because it stayed the same height in the front view. Now, if I go ahead and do this again and I can, let's see, go into project, which is right here. All right, and I click on the curve once again and I'm in the top viewport this time and I click enter, I select my solids, enter, and because I was in the top viewport, it totally did it at a different orientation. Once again, I can move this and it will move these because it affects where those curves are on the cylinder and on the cube. All right, and that's exactly how I would anticipate project to work, and it's very practical. I use it all of the time. Pull back. All right, so I am going to turn these into the green layer and I'm going to shut that off. pullback is really similar, but it has a slightly different function. And so I am going to select pullback in the drop-down menu from Objects. And it wants to select the curves that I want to pull to. And then I want to press enter. And it wants me to select the surfaces. And I'm finding these things, these instructions down here at the command line. And I want to press enter when done. And it pulls back. There you go. So interesting that it pulled back here and here. So I was not expecting that because I was clicking in the front viewport, but sometimes things change, and evidently this particular menu item has changed. So it pulled it back to the face of whatever was showing in this viewport. So the face of this and the face of this, and then also the face and the face from the top viewport. It did both. Once again, if I move this, it's going to also move these because it is on history. So you can see that better in the perspective view. All right, let's see what's next. Duplicate border. Okay, so I am going to select by right-clicking on the white square. I'm going to select all of my white curves and I'm going to put them on the green layer. So it says change object layer. I would like to do that. And green is turned off, so therefore they disappear. But they are there. If I select the eyeball on the green layer, it will bring back all of those curves. All right, let's carry on. Duplicate edge. I want to duplicate an edge on the cube. So let's go back to that. Duplicate edge. Select edges to duplicate. I want to duplicate this one, this one, this one, this one, and these two. Select enter when done. And then to get out of that, I just left clicked, and you'll see here that all of these that I clicked on have duplicated. Let me turn off red for a second and you can see that, right? These are all separate, they did not join. I am going to bring in another curve and bring in a profile so that I can show you something else. So real quick, we haven't gone over this yet, but I am sweeping sweep 1 with the profile, and I do not want that to be on there. Okay, so the next command under our curve menu from object is duplicate border. So if I were to duplicate edge like I did here, it does not group it together. And I'm going to do one more thing on this. I'm going to extract. I'm typing in extract. I want to extract a surface. So you get a little bonus. This is the surface I want to extract. And I do not want to copy. So I'm going to delete that, right? I'm going to take all of my curves that are out there and turn them to the green layer so that they're off. So now we have a cube, but it's open. So I can extract border, duplicate border, sorry. So if I were to wanting to duplicate this edge that's open, I could duplicate the edge, and once again I duplicated that edge, but these they're not joined together. So if I have a large project that I'm doing and I have a lot of complicated edges and this is open, I can select this and I can go up here and duplicate border. It does the same thing, only this time it automatically joins it together. So it just saves you a step, because if you didn't do duplicate border, you would have to select all individually while holding down Shift and go up here and select join. So it's very practical. Let's see what's next. Duplicate face border. Okay, let me once again change that white border to the green. Now I am going to assume that, oh, okay. Isn't that clever? Never use that. Okay, so you can duplicate this whole face border and it joins it together without having to have an open end. That's very practical. All right, moving on. Duplicate mesh edge. All right, I don't have a mesh out here, so let me just change this to a mesh. Mesh. Mesh to nerves. There we go. So now there are two surfaces. One is a poly surface. Oh, wait. It doesn't say mesh. Okay. Let me do that again. Okay, maybe I'm going to type it in, nerves to mesh. Sometimes. No. All right. No can do. All right, I don't have my Rhino menu on the top, so I'm not really sure where that's at. It's probably somewhere. I tell you what, when we go over mesh, we will find these little things and show you how to do that. All right. Mesh intersection. Not really sure. Select objects to intersect. I don't know. Nope. Oh, there's 0 intersections. Okay. I don't need both of these. Well, maybe I'll just take that first one and move it over. Okay, let's take a look at that and see what that does. Intersection, select objects to intersect. I'll do this one and this one. Enter when done. Look at that. I'm gonna hide. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, so I'm gonna hide these for a second. Very cool. Is it joined? This part's joined, this is not. That is super cool. Okay. I'm not sure where I would use that, but I'm definitely gonna try to fit that in. Awesome. I love learning new things. Okay. Create UV curves. I do know this one I use all the time. Okay, let me show you. We're going to take this object right here. I'm going to hide everything else. So I selected this and I just hit hide with my right enter mouse, right click. All right, so let's go back up here and create UV curves. It wants you to select a surface to create your UV curves, and I want to select this, and then you hit enter. And what this is, it's not exactly rolled out, but it is a flat of this cylinder surface all the way around, not the ends, but the cylinder part. So it's very useful because I can do a pattern on the flat and then I can flow it up on this cylinder and utilize it that way. It's just easier to draw things on the flat, and that's why that is there. Okay, Move this over here. Whoops. No, I better not, because it's going to mess up my intersection. But I can move this. Okay, let's see what's next. And apply UV curves. I've not used that. Contour, I've never used that. Select objects to contour. Press enter when done. Contour plane. Not really sure how that's used. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, I'm not really sure how I got there, but I just followed the directions down here, and sometimes that's what you have to do to figure it out. Section. Select objects for section. I'll select this, press enter when done. The start of the section, let's start here and let's end here and enter. Okay, but I could have done anything. Let's see, let's do that again. Right click, click on the object, enter. Let's go this way. Okay. Oh, that's super cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know that moment when you realize, dang, I could have used that. Yeah, that's what I was just realizing, how much I could have used that. Okay, silhouette. I think I know what this is. Let me turn all of the white lines by right-clicking on the white square and left clicking on the arrow in front of my green, and that way I can see what I'm doing. Silhouette. I'm going to press that, select this surface, press enter when done, and look at that. It like makes a skeleton, and they're all separate, which is good. Okay. All right, that's cool. Next we have mesh outline. We won't do that because it's a mesh. Let's go ahead and get rid of our white lines, and we'll go on to the next one, which is extract points. I am going to select this to extract points because I'm very curious where the points are. Oh. Okay, so there's the geometry. If I move that point, I wonder what would happen. Nothing. Okay. But those are the points that make up the geometry of that. Let's see what extract points, what this does. Okay. All right. Got it. Extract wireframe. All right, let's get rid of our points, and I'm going to put those on a brown layer. Turn that off. Extract subcurve. I don't know what that is, so let's find out. None of these are a subcurve. Okay. I think that's more, let's just try a curve and see what happens with extract subcurve. Polycurve, okay. No, I'm not really sure, but I say that I've never used it and I don't have a need for it, but you never know because I'm not sure how it works. So that is one I will be finding out. Extract wireframe. I think I just did that, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. That's different from silhouette. Silhouette just does the outside, you know, like those old-fashioned silhouette paintings or cutouts, paper cutouts. So this was called extract wireframe. So it did all of it. So let's do this one. Okay, so This is like the ribs. It's like all of the joints, all of the seams. Well, they're not really seams, but if I take those away, you're going to see all of the lines there. So look at the white lines, and where are they? Oh, I have to finish. There we go. The white is going to go away. See all these lines? That's how it's created, with that tension on that oval. Okay, you can simplify your profiles and there would be fewer. Okay, but they're all there. So it copies all those areas where all those construction lines, I guess I will call those. Okay. Let's see, short path, not sure what that is. Intersect two sets. I would imagine that that is real similar to one we did up here called intersection. Let's see. So let's go ahead. Where did it go? There we go. Keep losing it. Let's go ahead, intersect two sets. First set of object to intersect, press enter, second. Okay, so it does exactly the same thing as before. And it even does the same join. Okay. Extract isocurve. Oh my gosh, this one's I use every hour of every minute. Okay, so see, I've extracted the isocurve and I touched on the plane of the cylinder, and I can do more than one. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and right click so that it activates it again. This is very common. Like, there we go. It's going to do this, or I could toggle it and it will go the other direction. Let's toggle that again and do, yep, we could do the other direction. Press enter when done. And this I use all the time. Let's go ahead and like pretend this is a shank, and I want to have a line on there so that I can put gemstones there, or if it's toggled, there we go. Extract isocurve every hour of every day. That one is used. So, all right. So I think I'm going to do a really short video today, and we'll just finish this one up. I believe this is part 5. So I look forward to part 6 because it's the editing tools for curves, and there's some really good tools in there that I use a lot and that help me with my design path. So thank you so much, and you're welcome.